SUNY trustee, members of the University at Buffalo Council, President Tripathi, Dean Kane, distinguished guests and speakers. The candidates for degrees are now assembled. Therefore, I officially declare that the 172nd annual commencement of the Jacobs School of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences is now open.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Michael Caine. I have the pleasure of serving as Vice President for Health Sciences and Dean of the Jacobs School of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. We'll begin our commencement program this afternoon with the singing of our national anthem. To lead us, I ask the members of our Da Cappella group to please come forward. And I ask that you continue standing if you're able to during our national anthem, and I please ask people to remove their hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the hope of the brave?
Please be seated. Welcome, all of you, to the 172nd commencement of the Jacobs School of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. This is a very special day for all of us. Our graduates will soon receive the Doctor of Medicine degree. Parents, spouses, family members, and friends exude pride and joy for their accomplishment. To the class of 2018, my heartfelt congratulations. As I said this morning, we look forward and expect you to contribute to and have leadership roles in American and international medicine and biomedical research. I welcome President Tripathi, SUNY trustee Angela Fata, Vice Provost, the Vice Presidents, and members of the President's Cabinet who have joined us for today's celebration. I wish to acknowledge all of the medical alumni who are present in the audience this afternoon, including those who are here for their medical reunion class of 1968, celebrating 50 years of a career in medicine, and the class of 1993, celebrating 25 years in medicine. Finally, I want to recognize and thank the tireless efforts of our faculty and staff for preparing this outstanding class for careers in medicine and science. Please join me in congratulating our faculty and thanking them. It's now my pleasure to introduce the president of our university, Dr. Satish Tripathi.
Good afternoon. I would like to offer a warm welcome and a thankful and heartfelt thank you to the parents, family members, friends who are joining us today. Your graduates have come this far in no small part thanks to your thoughtful guidance and your study support. And today we gather to recognize your graduates' achievement for the milestone it is and to celebrate the culmination of their hard work. With that, let me be among the first to wish the 2018 class of Jacob School of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences congratulations. You have come a long way. Your journey to today has been marked by dedication and perhaps frustration, by study and self-reflection, by trial and error, and by more late nights than you may care to remember. Along the way, you embraced new modes of thinking. You debated issues from different angles. You transferred your classroom learning to real-world challenges. You found your purpose and you pursued your passion. Throughout this transformative process of enlightenment, you have gained priceless knowledge about your field of study and, just as important, about yourself. So if I asked you, class of 2018, to single out the most important aspect of your academic program that has brought your education to life, what would that be? Don't worry, this is not a test. But as you embark on the next phase of your life, it is a question worth pondering. Although it has been many years since I sat where you sit today, I would argue that most profound learnings do not just take place in the lecture hall. We don't read them in a textbook or discover them inside a lab. They don't come to us out in the field. Truth be told, education cannot be captured in a single moment. It is ongoing, continuous, and constantly evolving. And with every strike we take, we seek a true understanding of respect given, and of respect earned. Respect, compassion, integrity, and justice are cornerstones of UB's guiding principles. We respect each other, even when we have divergent lived experience. We respect those in our care by treating them compassionately, and we respect what we have learned by putting that precious knowledge to its best use, namely to address society's most pressing problems. Your UB education, truly the entire scope of your UB experience, has elevated your conscience about the world today. It has primed your sense of civic, professional, and ethical responsibility, values you will tap every day of your life. It has stoked your senses of purpose, indeed your sense of greater purpose. At the start of the academic year, we welcomed to campus Malala Yousafzai, the education rights activist who has earned respect of world over for her courage and her conviction. When Malala accepted the Nobel Prize in 2014, she noted that the progress and development were happening only in certain parts of the world. However, Malala said, there are many countries where millions suffer from the very old problems of war, poverty, and injustice. Malala continued by saying, let us become the first generation to decide to be the last that sees empty classrooms, lost childhoods, and wasted potentials. It is my sincere hope that your UB education has provided you with the intellectual resources grounded in respect, compassion, integrity, and justice to do not only good things for your own life, but to do great things with your life. Throughout your education, you have already done much in this regard. For instance, we have witnessed how you have cared for the homeless, conducted research to improve outcomes for people with fatal diseases, and treated your patients not only with great care, but with great dignity and empathy. Your education here has set the stage for the rest of your life. It is your time to put your imprint on the world around you by contributing to the world around you. Class of 2018, I have every confidence that as you go out into the world, you will make it better, brighter place. We look forward to seeing the impact of all of your accomplishment. Congratulations on your great achievements and all the best wishes on the road ahead. We take time at commencement to recognize noteworthy achievements of members of our larger UB community. Traditionally, we award State University of New York honorary doctoral degrees to distinguished individuals whose accomplishments and contributions are of special significance to UB and Western New York. These honorary degrees, proposed by our campus and authorized by the SUNY trustees, are conferred on individuals who represent the highest ideals of the University at Buffalo. Dr. Anj Farah, member of the State University of New York Board of Trustees, will join me now to confer our 2018 State University of New York Honorary Doctorate. Would our recipient, Robert Peter Gale, please come forward at this time? A distinguished alumnus, Dr. Robert Peter Gale received his medical degree from UB in 1970. He is an internationally renowned hematologist, immunologist, molecular biologist, and cancer researcher who exemplifies our university's commitment to groundbreaking scholarship. Dr. Gale has upheld the values and mission of UB and SUNY throughout his distinguished career in his relentless pursuit of treatment and therapy for blood cancer and blood disorders, and in his commitment to improving the lives of patients with these illnesses. Regarded as a world expert on biological effect of radiation exposure, Dr. Gale has responded to numerous nuclear and radiation accidents, including those at Chernobyl and Fukushima. For this expertise, he is also highly sought out as an authority on preparing for and preventing acts of nuclear terrorism. As further evidence of the impact of Dr. Gale's research, he and his colleagues were able to clone a genetic mutation causing a common form of leukemia, which led to the development of a curative drug therapy for a previously fatal disease. Dr. Gale's desire to improve the treatment and lives of cancer patients reflects his broad range of study touching on diverse areas beyond traditional medicine, including epidemiology, statistics, and decision analyses. A visiting professor at the Center for Hematology Research at Imperial College London, Dr. Gale still returns to Buffalo to deliver lectures and grand rounds at Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. He continues to maintain a connection to his alma mater. In 1990, Dr. Gale received a Distinguished Alumni Award recognizing his achievements and relationship with UB. In recognition of Dr. Gale's substantial impact on the research and treatment of cancer, particularly leukemia, and in appreciation of his steadfast commitment to improving people's lives, the University at Buffalo is privileged to confer upon him, on behalf of the State University of New York, a 2018 Honorary Doctorate of Science.
By authority of the trustees and the Chancellor of the State University of New York and the Council and the faculty of the University at Buffalo, I now confer upon Dr. Robert Peter Gale the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa, with all of the rights and privileges thereto pertaining. In token thereof, I present this diploma and direct that he be vested with the hood appropriate to that degree.
So this ceremony is not about me, it's about the young people in front of me. But I do want to thank the President, Dean, Regents of the State University of New York, and faculty of the University of Buffalo for this great honor. On my way into this building, one of the escorts asked me, "Would you like to say a few words?" Now, asking an academic physician if they'd like to say a few words is like asking an alcoholic if they'd like a drink. So I just want to say very briefly, firstly, I want to address the graduates, not as students, but as colleagues. Welcome to our ancient and distinguished and honorable profession, which has moved from Hippocrates sitting under a plane tree on the island of Kos in Greece to whole genome sequencing. And I think for many of you, you have no idea of how much interesting and exciting and challenging things you're going to face. One thing I want to remind you is that when you get your degree, it comes with the honors, privileges, and obligations hereto affirmed. So the next time you're on an Airbus A380 and they say, "Is there a doctor on board?" no one cares that you want to be a dermatologist or an ophthalmologist. Society honors us, and society expects us to act like physicians. And so I hope whatever you choose as your future career, you will remember our basic skills and our basic obligations as physicians. Lastly, with regard to the future, when I was a medical student here in 1966 through 70, chronic myeloid leukemia was an invariably fatal disease. The average survival of a person with CML was 3 years. And through a series of contributions from many scientists, the molecular cloning of the gene that caused the disease, the development of small molecules that could reverse the biochemical activity. CML is now a cured disease. People with CML actually live longer than age and sex matched people who don't have CML because they have to see their physician more frequently. So you have a brilliant future. You have no idea what exciting things, and I want to congratulate you and welcome you into the fraternity of medicine.
Thank you, Dr. Gale. From time to time, the University at Buffalo president has the honor of presenting the UB President's Medal in recognition of individuals who have expended truly extraordinary effort on behalf of our university and the communities we serve. Created in 1990, this medal is presented in recognition of, in the words of the original medal description, outstanding scholarly or artistic achievements, humanitarian act, contribution of time and treasure, exemplary leadership, or any other major contribution to the development of the University at Buffalo and the quality of life in the UB community. It is my honor to have the opportunity to recognize two such individuals today. Would Ms. Laura Hobart please join me at the podium? As UB's Vice President for Finance and Administration since 2012, Ms. Laura Hobart has excelled in her extensive and far-reaching responsibilities. These include oversight of the university's strategic financial planning, and the analysis and oversight of the overall instructional resource use and development. Ms. Hubbard has provided outstanding leadership and service to UB. As the university's Chief Financial Officer, her expertise covers a truly broad range of areas, from resource planning, capital planning, business services, and policy and internal controls to emergency management, human resources, and parking and transportation, among many others. As she has excelled in her numerous high-level responsibilities, Ms. Hubbard also played a lead role in planning, development, construction, and completion of the new building for the Jacobs School of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. Thanks for her meticulous oversight and diligent planning, we celebrated the grand opening of this new state-of-the-art facility this past year. In short, Ms. Hubbard has had a profound impact on the highly successful administrative achievements and financial future of our university, as well as the infrastructure of our 3 campuses. Her astute strategic planning and leadership has enhanced our university on so many levels, and our entire university community will benefit from her dedicated efforts for years to come. On behalf of the entire University at Buffalo community, I want to personally thank Laura for her dedication and service to UB. It is now my great pleasure to recognize her many contributions to UB with one of the highest honors bestowed by our own university community, the UB President's Medal, which I'm proud to present to Ms. Laura Hubbard.
Thank you, Dr. Tripathi, for this very nice honor. And I'm very happy to be here with you all today and to share this honor with Dr. Kane. And congratulations to the class, the medical school class of 2018, most of all. You are the future of medicine, and we look forward to hearing about your many achievements as you go forward in your medical careers. And, you know, each of us in life and in our work have particular things that motivate us. For me, it's the opportunity to make a difference. And that is really what drew me to UB and to Buffalo. because I saw here a wonderful community and a place where a lot of really exciting transformational changes were happening. And I saw a chance to be part of making a positive difference. One of those, obviously, was the move of the medical school and the development of an academic health sciences center downtown. And I think we all agree it's a glorious building, but more importantly, in the future, will be what happens inside that building. And in all the various presentations that we did about that building, Dr. Caine liked to talk about the metaphor of an academic, a medical symphony that he wanted to create in an academic health sciences center. So in that light, I was thinking about a pearl of wisdom from one of our great American conductors. That was Leonard Bernstein, and here's what he said. To achieve great things, two things are needed: a plan and not quite enough time. We certainly had both of those things in the development of the Jacob School of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences, but with all due respect to Mr. Bernstein, I would add another element, and that is great teamwork. Anything I've accomplished, including here at UB, comes with the support of a team that is behind me and beside me. Behind me are all the people who helped in my development, both as a person and a professional. And beside me are all of those that helped me to continue on that journey and in that development. And in the development of the Jacob School, I had a great team beside me, and they really should share in this medal today, and they will do so. And back to the class of 2018, the reason we're here today, my hope for you is that you will always know that you are making a difference and that you will find yourself to be part of a great team. So congratulations and best of luck in your journey ahead. Thank you.
A deeply valued member of our UB community for more than a decade, Dr. Michael Caine has led the Jacob School of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences since 2006 and has served as the Vice President for Health Sciences for the last 7 years. Michael, would you come forward? Under his leadership as Dean, Dr. Caine has made tremendous strides transforming and enhancing the Jacob School to create an innovative learning and teaching environment where students and residents are immersed in a culture of best clinical practice, scientific curiosity, and discovery. As the new building of the Jacob School was under construction, Dr. Caine oversaw many enhancements to the school's medical curriculum to better leverage the innovative learning opportunities that the school's new building would create. Promoting integrated learning and clinical experiences through increased classroom space, active learning centers, and novel simulation centers, Dr. Caine's strategic plan for medical education in transforming the educational experience for the students in the Jacob School. Positioned on UB's downtown campus in the heart of Buffalo's biomedical corridor, the Jacob School is now in close proximity to key healthcare and research partners and facilities, several of which were realized in no small part as a result of Dr. Caine's concerted efforts. These include UB's Clinical and Translational Center and the Conventus Building. Along with the new home of Jacob School, these facilities are helping UB further medical research, innovation, and education while improving healthcare for people throughout Western New York and beyond. Our university and our community have been greatly enriched by Dr. Caine's leadership of the Jacob School and all of UB's health science schools. It is my great pride and pleasure that I present the UB's President Medal to my colleague, Dr. Michael Caine.
Thank you, President Tripathi, for this recognition and this honor. I thank you also for your tremendous support of our medical school during the time that I have been here. And I also congratulate my university partner, Laura Hubbard. As a co-president's medal recipient and for the invaluable effort she and her entire staff put toward this magnificent project that resulted in our new building. I accept this medal on behalf of the truly hundreds of university, school, and community colleagues who made what Dr. Tripathi just detailed possible. I was fortunate, our community is fortunate, to have so many people from diverse backgrounds and areas of expertise who worked together for the common goal of enhancing medical education, expanding what we discover in biomedical science, and all of this to have a favorable impact on the public health of Western New York and the world. So it has been a privilege to be part of this university, this school, and the projects that we together have been able to accomplish. So thank you. It's now my distinct pleasure to introduce our honored speaker for commencement, Dr. Hannah Valentine. Dr. Valentine is the first National Institutes of Health Chief Officer for Scientific Workforce Diversity and a senior investigator in the intramural research program at the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute. Prior to starting this position in April 2014, Dr. Valentine was professor of cardiovascular medicine and senior associate dean for diversity and leadership at Stanford University, a leadership position she held since 2004. She is nationally recognized for her transformative approaches to diversity and is a recipient of the NIH Director's Pathfinder Award for Diversity in the Scientific Workforce. She is currently leading the National Institutes of Health's efforts to promote diversity through innovation across NIH-funded biomedical workforce through a range of evidence-based approaches. Hannah maintains an active clinical research program that continues to have a high impact on patient care. Current research extends her previous finding that an organ transplant is essentially a genome transplant and that monitoring the level of donor DNA in a recipient's blood as a marker of organ damage will detect early stages of transplant rejection. She is currently overseeing the multi-site consortium of Mid-Atlantic transplant centers to validate these findings clinically toward the development of a non-invasive tool for detecting early signs of organ rejection. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Hannah Valentine.
Thank you, Dr. Kane. Indeed, I'm deeply honored to be here today. President Tripathi, SUNY trustee Fatah, members of the University of Buffalo Council, Dean Kane, distinguished faculty, graduates, guests, families and friends, and most importantly, today's graduating class of 2018, congratulations. Today is that day that you have been working for what seems an extremely long time. Today is the day when your family, your friends, your neighbors would begin to refer to you as doctor. Let's take a moment to thank all of those people who have helped you get here today. Like many of you, I knew I wanted to be a doctor, a cardiologist in particular, some time ago. In fact, my passion was ignited in 3rd grade when, for the first time ever, I received an A in art, the only subject which I had consistently done poorly. This art project was, in fact, somewhat different. It was, in fact, an anatomy lesson demonstrating how the blood circulated throughout the body as described by Sir William Harvey, 16th century English physician. Little did I realize then that one day I would become a physician scientist studying heart transplantation. A lot has happened between now and then, but let me just share with you 3 lessons that I learned along the way that might inspire you along your own journey. First, be empathetic. Care from your mind and your heart. Second, embrace diversity in all its forms. And thirdly, never be satisfied with the status quo. Commit to being a lifelong learner. What does empathy mean and caring from your heart? As a transplant cardiologist, I have been blessed with the gift of caring for thousands of courageous patients who dared to embark on receiving an experimental procedure. Amongst the most memorable is Carolina, a patient who had her first heart transplant when she was 9 years old. She did well for 20 years, only to have her transplanted heart fail 3 months after delivering her child. Having 2 young children myself at the time, my empathy for Carolina and her family spurred me to provide the kind of care I would wish for myself, informed by research and delivered with love and confidence. Within a month, we had found a new heart for Carolina and uncovered the mystery of why her heart had failed, enabling us to prevent rejection in the new heart. Words cannot express my joy in seeing her child now as a rambunctious teenager when I returned to the Stanford transplant reunion last summer. So, class of 2018, delivering empathic care will sustain you in your journey as a physician scientist in the years ahead. Indeed, UB has prepared you for this extremely well. And speaking with medical school leadership, I have heard resoundingly that the University of Buffalo medical student government and student body is an active and caring group, organizing and running endeavors such as Friends of the Night People Project and the Lighthouse Free Medical Clinic. In particular, I would like to applaud the 20 members of the graduating class who have been inducted into the Gold Humanism Honors Society. You have really set a high bar for yourself, and you are an exemplar to others. Let's join in applauding these 20 members. Secondly, I urge you to embrace diversity in all its forms. I told you earlier that my seeds of medical career began in grade school. What I didn't mention was those early days where in West Africa, in the little country of Gambia, and that my later schooling in London presented many challenges. Growing up in the Gambia as part of the majority group, I was ill-prepared for my experiences as the only student of color in my London high school. There, I experienced firsthand that disturbing sense of not belonging. That rough patch might have accounted for my plummeting grades. But of course, there were other distractions like the swinging 60s, the Beatles, and much others. And, well, I'm blaming the sense of not belonging, and I'm sticking to it. Fortunately, a year of research in microbiology revived my subpar academic record, and forever whetted my appetite for research. And after training at Stanford, I set out. After training in London, I headed to Stanford to get my BTA. And if any of you are wondering what that is, it's been to America. At that time, having a BTA was required for success in academia, especially in transplantation medicine that was much more advanced in the US. While at Stanford, while Stanford was not really brimming with racial diversity, the science was. As a field, cardiac transplantation relies on the diversity of thought, tapping into the expertise of every member of a broad interdisciplinary team, such as surgeons, cardiologists, nurses, pharmacists, and many more. I saw firsthand why and how diversity is essential for creativity, innovation, and solution to complex problems. Yet despite what we know about the benefits of diversity, not the least of which is social justice, women and certain racial ethnic groups remain underrepresented in medical school faculty. And although over the last 20 years we've witnessed considerable increase in diversity amongst our trainees across US medical school, the percentage of certain racial ethnic groups does not mirror the US population. NIH is investing considerable resources and efforts to address these gaps as an essential strategy to achieving the NIH mission, which is turning discovery into health and for everybody. But NIH cannot do it alone. We must all do better, and that is actually happening here at UB with your Inclusive Excellence Summit, your conference, Igniting Hope, Building a Just Community with a Culture of Health and Equity. And I actually want to congratulate your leadership, in particular, Margarita Debokovic, for recognizing diversity and inclusion as an opportunity for excellence and creating a whole battery of new programs that build upon the resources that come from NIH. These efforts underscore the notion that diversity and inclusion are essential for learning and for healthcare and extend from student to faculty to community. So class of 2018, we learn great things from our differences, and contrary to the usual saying, great minds think alike, embrace the tagline of my office, which is great minds think differently. Finally, research. Never be satisfied with the status quo and commit to lifelong learning. The most frequent questions I find I ask myself are why and how. And as a physician scientist, I'm incredibly fortunate to be able to continuously wonder, as with my transplant patients, what caused Carolina's transplant heart to be rejected in its new surroundings? How can we figure out how to predict these things earlier? And how can we diagnose rejection with a simple blood test and eliminate the need for a biopsy, which is a dangerous and invasive procedure? In fact, one of my patients once said to me, "Dr. Valentine, first you give me a new heart, then you take it away bit by bit with your biopsies." She was right. And that comment has inspired me in my recent research, which is based on the ideas you heard from Dean Caine, that essentially an organ transplant is a genome transplant. And what we've discovered is that we can now have a blood test where we look for fragments of donor-derived DNA in the recipient blood and have an automatic, reliable test for rejection so the patients don't need a biopsy. So finally, class of 2018, I say to you, never be satisfied with the status quo. Ask why, then go out and find out the answer. Ask, how can that be, then go and make change. In the words of Margaret Mead, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Go forth as physician scientists to make your communities and your world a better place. Congratulations and Godspeed.
Thank you, Dr. Valentine. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce this year's class speaker, almost able to call her Dr. Claire Maggiotto.
Greetings. Greetings, family, friends, physicians, and most importantly, class of 2018. I wrote this speech with the help of my colleague and future emergency medicine doctor, Nick Sierra. Unfortunately, Nick couldn't be here today, but he wanted me to remind everyone to steer clear of the hospital on July 1st. For those of you who have not experienced it, medical school is like drinking out of a fire hose. During our first year, my classmates and I struggled through anatomy and tackled the first of many organ systems. In our second year, we practically lived in G26, the infamous windowless classroom that hasn't been renovated since the Pan American Exposition in 1901. There, we learned about the symbiotic relationship between the heart and the lungs, and we watched one of our classmates shove Dr. Silvestri to prove a point about neurology. In retrospect, it seems the shove was more memorable than the lesson itself. At the onset of third year, we were both excited and terrified. We became leeches, following our residents everywhere and absorbing every factoid and technique, while brown-nosing just enough to ensure they liked us. Third year allowed us to experience many different medical specialties, and by the end of that year, we were expected to know exactly which discipline we wanted to specialize in. Then, this past year, we had to convince ourselves and our interviewers that we had made the right decision. As medical students, there were times we doubted that our voices were heard or our opinions mattered. Today, that changes. We will leave these seats asking our patients to have faith in our education and training and to trust us. Nick likened today to sitting on the doorstep of the future we have been working towards. Next year, we will be stressed and pushed beyond our limits. But as my father, who loves the Godfather movies, always says, "This is the business you've chosen." I hope I speak for most of you when I say that this business has provided us great joy and purpose. We have met remarkable physicians, seen unbelievable procedures, and spent time with incredible patients who have forever shaped us. Collectively, these experiences have made us into capable and empathetic physicians. 4 years ago, we were strangers from different backgrounds. We embarked on an arduous, demanding journey and grew close in the classrooms and on the wards. Look at the person sitting next to you and know that you did not spend the past 4 years alone. We leaned on one another when days were difficult and celebrated with each other at a casual dinner or a raucous dance party on Franklin Street. My partners on clinical rotations impressed me and showed me new qualities I strove to emulate. Medicine is a team-based, dynamic field. We must always look to our colleagues for support and learn with and from one another. We must also remember those here to celebrate with us today: our parents, friends, siblings, spouses, and children. Medical school did not happen in a vacuum, and the busy lives of our loved ones continued while we stepped into the all-encompassing intensity of medical school. These people supported us through the emotional roller coasters we have ridden and forgave us when we are not our best selves. To all of the family and friends here today, Without your support, the past 4 years would not have been possible. We thank you, and we will raise a glass to you tonight. Finally, I leave you, the class of 2018, with a prescription. As physicians, we will issue countless prescriptions throughout our careers, so Nick and I thought it fitting to leave you with a prescription of our own. 1, have courage and be kind every 6 hours. Soon you will walk into the hospital as a physician for the first time. Speak up and share your opinion. You have received an amazing education, and now you must use it. Have the courage to admit when you're wrong and say something kind at least 4 times a day. 2, never forget the little guy, Q 24 hours. Whether he or she is a cafeteria worker, a janitor, a security guard, introduce yourself and always be respectful because it takes a village to run a hospital. 3, surround yourself with good people who are smarter than you every rotation. You are the company you keep. Find your people and reach out to those who know more than you. Push yourself to improve. Get excited for the wisdom and experience you will gain in residency. Never stop learning. 4, bring balance to the force daily. Continue to pursue your interests outside of medicine. Spend time with your family, friends, and significant others. Most of all, do not lose sight of why you chose this career. Thank you for giving Nick and I the chance to address you today. When you feel like upon you burnout and darkness are, remember always, light there is. May the 4th be with you.
Thank you, Claire. Next, it's my pleasure to invite James Harb to come forward for the presentation of the Parents' Council gift. James.
Good afternoon and welcome. Hello, graduates, faculty, family, and friends. My name is James Harb. I'm a longtime member of the Parents' Council and a father of a graduating student in this year's class. On behalf of the Parents' Council, I would like to thank the medical school administration, the faculty, the staff, for all their support. I also want to extend a special thanks to the Office of Student and Academic Affairs for their guidance and continuous commitment to the Parents' Council. Dr. Kane, on behalf of the parents of the graduates and the Parents' Council, we would like to present this photograph of the graduate medical class of 2018 to the university to be hung on the walls of the medical school for many years to come. Congratulations to the new doctors. Best of luck in your upcoming residencies, and thank you very much.
Thank you, James, and my added thanks to the entire Parents' Council, which serves a very, very important function for the school and for our students. Well, does anybody want to graduate? It's now time to confer degrees, and I call Dr. Philip Glick to the podium to present the first group of candidates this afternoon. Dr. Glick.
Will the candidates for the dual degrees of Doctor of Medicine and the Masters of Business Administration please rise? President Tripathi, on behalf of the graduate faculty of the Jacobs School of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences and the School of Management, I have the honor to present these candidates to you. They have met all of the graduate requirements of the university for the dual degree of Doctor of Medicine and Business Administration.
By the authority of the trustees and the Chancellor of the State University of New York and the Council and the faculty of the University at Buffalo, I now confer upon you the degrees of the Doctor of Medicine and Master of Business Administration with all the rights, privileges thereto pertaining. Congratulations.
Dr. William McClellan. Dr. Hulkyar Mirzozada. Dr. Lydia Somi Park. Dr. Tarek Mohammed Radwan. Dr. Mark Shahada.
Next, I ask Dr. David Milling to present the candidates for the MD degree.
Will the medical school class please rise and remain standing? President Tripathi, on behalf of the faculty of the Jacob School of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences, I have the honor to present these candidates. They have met all the requirements of the university and are recommended to you for the degree of Doctor of Medicine.
By the authority of the trustees and the Chancellor of the State University of New York and the Council and the faculty of the University at Buffalo, I now confer upon each of you the degree of Doctor of Medicine with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining. Congratulations.